Hi, this is Kelly. Welcome to The Skinny. Saturday at the Weight Watchers scale, I gained 0.6, which was the week before I lost 0.6. So I found it this week. I'm getting used to maintenance right now because I'm not losing, I'm maintaining pretty much.
Well, at least you didn't gain 1.4.
That's true.
Sister $8 weeklies. Hungry, hungry.
Yeah. That's the working out.
But it's the, when then you realize,
machines.
Why am I so hungry? Well, hello. So I'm going to utilize shakes to kind of help that issue on days that we do
high protein shakes when we actually do our machines, go to the gym.
We'll work it out.
So, but let's start with the main goal of the week.
I had a realization. I looked at her and I was like, I need to just go old school.
She means back to basics.
Yes.
We're going to back to Weight Watchers basics.
We are.
Just to simplify. You know how when you first start Weight Watchers, you try to do everything simply because you have so much you need to do and remember.
So much to learn.
So you try to keep things simple. And it's like you're in the honeymoon phase.
Yes.
And you're an angel. You try to be an angel when you do everything because you're new.
Yes.
And so that's what we're going to rediscover.
I'm tired. I've been so inconsistent.
So, but let's start with our list.
Well, first, can I talk about how I really kind of came to this?
Yes.
I feel like I've been so inconsistent for so many months, and I'm back and forth, and I'm frustrated. So I finally just decided I needed to just be like this.
She was just like, keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple,
That's
stupid.
What she said
I need to like narrow my focus down and stick with the things I was doing in the beginning. Yeah. And my goal, I've set an overall goal to like knock this inconsistency out of 4 weeks where I have to lose each. I don't care if it's 0.2, but there will be a loss. I need to have consistent losses. I need to get into that groove.
Yep.
So that's kind of where this all
So
came
our
from
Weight Watchers back to basics became this thing that we're going to control this week.
Yes.
And we're going to start with number one, water. You know, we both, yes, again, nemesis. But you know how you get on your water kick and then you kind of slide back. Well, we both are making huge efforts to get our water in, and we are both doing very well. The last, what, 3 days?
Yes.
Doing well, getting water in, and being an angel about it.
And lowering the amount of diet soft drink intake.
Yes.
Not eliminating, because that's a recipe for disaster.
That's a whole other
meeting.
That's a whole other goal to get to eventually.
So but lessening it significantly. Because obviously sodium does not help weight loss. I mean, it's not going to help. And we both realize this is an issue.
Yes. So again, we both kind of crept back up with diet soft drinks, so that was okay.
Yes.
Number one, back to basics.
Yes.
Number two, back to basics.
Oh, tracking.
Which we do great at.
But it's sticking with the tracking, being really careful about making sure every teeny tiny thing gets in. It's like, oh, I forgot to add that. Oh, this was in that salad and I didn't add that.
Yes.
Making sure, double check yourself.
I would say that's probably the thing that we're best at.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That one's not one I write too much about.
Yes.
But you always need to really be conscious of your measuring when you're tracking.
Yes.
Did you track the right amount?
Yes.
So making sure you're measuring faithfully. And that's a huge part.
And
measuring
number
goes
three
hand in hand.
is measuring.
Well, yeah, we'll give it its own category.
That's measuring.
They go hand in hand.
Yes.
If you're tracking the wrong thing, that's not helping anything. You're not really tracking.
And that's another thing I think we're very good at is the measuring.
I do.
We both are extremely conscious of that. We have even spoons and utensils.
There's a million of them.
That will, it's a serving spoon, but it's a half a cup. So it's the Weight Watchers tool that you can buy.
And we have a lot of the ones that collapse. We have a ton of them. Yeah. So that is
those are always in play.
Yes.
So after number 3, we talked about number 4 is SPs.
Sticking with, I think we need to just choose one and stick with it for now.
Yep.
Instead of flip and flopping. So I've chosen to stick with SPs because that's what I'm most comfortable and familiar with. And it's just kind of where my comfort lies.
Yeah.
And that's what I decided to do.
Yeah. So I think that's good for us. We've got our cards to refresh us to, the kind of the back to basics of the meals we were trying and eating before. We've added so many things to them.
Yes.
But, again, going back to our cards, being faithful to some of those other recipes that, you know, are all kind of new right now because we're going to go back to them.
And just doing the things that we did before, you know, really utilizing fruit as a snack, which we both really haven't gotten away from. Most of our snacks, like typical like day snacks, if I'm at work, my snack is a piece of fruit. I don't typically eat more than 3 a day. I avoid eating more than 3 pieces. Typically it's 2.
Right. But 3.
But sometimes it's 3.
If I'm doing grapes or berries, I tend to be okay with that.
Yeah, usually I do the blueberries in the morning, a banana in the afternoon, and maybe in one other piece of fruit.
I'll do grapes or something.
You know, and I think the blueberries I'm only doing like maybe an eighth of a cup, fourth at the max in my oatmeal. So I try to keep because I know fruit's got it still has a lot of sugar in it. It's natural, but there's still sugar. So we're both being conscious of that.
Yeah. Well, then we got number 5. Exercise. Now,
which
we're doing the gym, but we talked last week about how, wouldn't it be smart if, you know, we just, you know, we said, Kelly, why don't you just go ahead and do the weights and don't bother to do your cardio at the gym? Great idea.
Yes.
So I thought, better yet, last week I had to, for time reasons, compress from 3 days to 2. So I already had to compress them and it worked out great.
Well, because I was doing my final day and she actually did 2 days while we were there and we've still finished at the same time.
Right. So it was like, oh, you know, that kind of makes sense.
She doesn't futz and I
don't
sometimes
futz. So I in and out. So I thought I'm going to always condense it to 2 days. So what I did is I created this little tool. Kim saw somebody at the gym.
Yeah.
Well, what I did is I thought I took my day 1
and day 2.
And then day 2.
Well, this is day 1 and 2 combined.
Yes. And so now it's down to 2 days and this has magnets in it and I can put it up on the machine and just, you know, carry it with me. But I'll know on day 1 that I can do chest, back, shoulders, and arms. So I can do that all in one day versus breaking it up into 1 and 2 days. And then day 2 was already cram-packed, but that's legs and abdominals. So this is perfect for me. I thought, you know what, it's great to have a trainer. I mean, thank you, trainer, for sharing with me. But if I'm going to stick with this, I need to make it something I'm going to do.
And then the opposite days that we're not there, we can just take a walk.
Right. So we'll get our
which
cardio
I would rather
in
just have
on our
dinner,
own.
come home, have dinner, walk dinner off.
Go
I'm
for
down
a bike
with that.
ride, whatever it is. We can handle our cardio. It's really the getting in and doing the toning that's key. So this is going to be our getting back to basics.
And the thing is, if I feel like I need to still even add in, like obviously in the arms, I may be one of those people who goes in and repeats day 1 a second time during a week. I may do that. I'm going to give this a whirl and see how it goes.
But I think for us, we're like, simple. Keep it simple. What's the simplest thing I can do? I'm going in there for 2 days. It's going to take me 20, 30 minutes tops. I'm in and I'm out and I'm
walk
done.
On the opposite.
I am more apt to do this if I do it this way. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to continue to do it. So sometimes you just have to make it work.
And if I want to go on an opposite day and do more,
you're welcome
I can certainly do that, which I'm okay with.
So then let's get to number 6. I think the biggie of going back to basics is attitude. Yes. It's the attitude that you have when you first start.
That honeymoon
everything's
attitude.
New. You're so uber excited, and we do love our program. That's why we do what we do. Why we talk about Weight Watchers, because we love it so much. So we have an attitude, a great attitude about Weight Watchers. But we want a little bit of more of the, you know, we've always been great about injecting interesting, fun things to get us excited. But it's such a I'm not at crossroads because I'm so close to goal and you're gonna creep up behind me. It is like a crossroads and it's like I'm trying to get to goal, but at the same time I'm really happy. So it's like I need that.
But we both can benefit from this back to basics.
Yes, I need that infusion of I'm so excited. This is new. Let that newness of what it was like when I first started, how exciting it was, how you didn't know what was going to happen, and it was just every day was day by day, meal by meal, and you got a boost from the little things. And I'm going to try to remind myself,
like drinking that water,
of all those things that why did I do this? I'm going to try to remind myself, why am I doing this? Why is it so important to me?
What do I hope to get out of this?
And it's all those things you think
even if
of.
it's a number, even if it's and you know what? I have to say, we went to a party over the weekend, and all my nieces were there, and I looked at my niece. I said, I love those shorts. We'd gone shopping with her that day, and I said, let me try those on. So we're in the living room, we're stripping down, and I was actually able to wear her shorts.
We're the same weight. I'm the same weight as my niece. I
And
never thought that would happen.
I was able to never, ever, ever. It was so, I actually put them on, zipped them right up and went, wow.
Literally to be the same weight as my niece was almost it was a wow for me. It was one of those moments though, that
non-scale victory moments
that you really just kind of try to carry with you during the tough times. You know, sometimes, you need that. It's almost like you fill all these little moments and you put them in a box.
Yes.
And then those moments when you're like, I'm struggling and I need to push past a certain complacent feeling. It's like you open that box and go, oh my gosh.
Well, maybe on my calendar,
it's this, and this.
I could write down fit in Brandy shorts today.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes it's something like that.
Yeah.
That kind of gets you through and get you back to how it just felt to really start this and be so excited.
At each of those little milestones.
Oh my gosh, they were the best. Hitting that 25-pound little charm was so huge.
You know, for me, I think go weight. I don't know if subconsciously I'm afraid of it. Maybe I am. I mean, I know I was fearful initially, but I've been so close to it for so long. It's like I thought I'd gotten rid of that, but maybe there is some hesitancy because things are going to change. But at the same time,
they've already
really
changed.
Happy and content. So, but I do want to achieve it, if only to say to myself, you are in your healthy BMI. You are within the number to be within your healthy BMI. And 137 is at the top, and I'll take it.
And I want to reach my goal before I hit 51. So I have until November. I really want to say I have reached my goal weight by 50. I want to be able to say that. That is a huge deal for me. It's a
that
big
number.
thing.
You think 50. You think I'm 50. I my goal was to be fabulous in 50, and I felt like I felt that
good
way.
At 50.
I felt great,
but I want to finish 50 really just on a high where I've reached
that's
my
your
goal.
BMI.
I do.
It's your BMI. I'm at my BMI when I was 50,
and I don't know. Sometimes I don't have any words for how I really, really wish I had done this so many years ago.
I know.
And I really wish our parents were here to see it, because I know they would be so excited. Sometimes it just takes my breath away that they're not. And
and I do. When I look back at it and I think, okay, it's over 3 years. And, I could have done this in my 30s. Yeah, but could I? I bet I could, but I bet I could have. And I don't know what that like that switch, that thing that just is it a switch, or is it you just at some point just make up your mind that that's what you're going to do?
I think I just made up my mind.
Yeah. You just like, nothing's going to stop me. And I think it comes to when you're ready to sacrifice anything.
Yeah.
Like I was ready to, we've been watching, let me put it to you this way. I'm trying to find the right words, but we've been watching My 600-Pound Life. We don't watch a ton of TV, but somebody was talking about it, and we watched a couple episodes, and it was really impactful because, to some degree, you get why somebody you understand the emotional eating or the issues that come and how you cope with food. And there was a moment when I could see somebody, they knew that they were going to go to this meeting to meet this doctor who could potentially help them. And you could see that I'm going to eat what I want while I can. I remember
been there too.
Before we started Weight Watchers, it was like, I'm going to have this meal before we go. Because I may never, it's almost like you say, you think you're never going to have it again. Yeah. And there's that feeling of, what if I don't have this again? I have to be able to have this. But when you're able to say to yourself, I don't care if I never have that again, if I can have this. This is more important than food. And I think that's where I hit that point where I can move forward, because I knew that giving up this was more important than this.
Yeah.
And it didn't mean I couldn't have these things again. I just couldn't have them in the bulk that I used to have them. And that's, again, when you realize you can still have it in moderation and still enjoy it and not feel deprived and not feel like you're letting this thing go, it's almost like you can move forward. you know, and I felt like I could move forward. It's a big step to let go of food as a coping mechanism or as something, a habit. I mean, it just, no matter what it is to you, when you let that go, it is hard.
Yeah.
But if you can let that go because you know this isn't as good as this, I think you can push through.
Well, that's where I'm at. I mean, I feel like, and am I always in the back of my mind going to, I know I'll never gain my weight back. That I can honestly say I do feel confident about. But will there always be that little thing in the back of my mind that will ensure that happens? Sure. Yes, because that little thing in the back of my head's always going to go, don't go there, don't go there. There's always going to be things that are going to remind me in the back of my head that are going to be that little warning voice. I'm always going to have it. And I hope I always have it.
Yeah.
Because I think it may be the one thing that keeps me where I'm at.
Well, don't you think how you feel now, I guess I'll say this as simply as I can. Okay. Isn't this feel better than any piece of cake you've ever eaten?
Yes. But there are many, many people who've done this journey multiple times.
Sure. We've gone to Weight Watchers multiple times.
But no, I'm saying reach goal gained. It happens.
It does.
It happens. So I think if you've ever struggled with your weight, at least one thing I will always say is that if, God forbid, just say I did gain to this back 5 years from now, I know I can lose it.
You can do, yes.
That is the thing. So if you have been in the situation where you've gained it and you lost it before, the thing is, one thing is you can do it. You can do it.
Well, you can do it even if you've never done it before.
True.
You can.
But you even have that assurance that you can do it. Yep. It is possible.
Well, it's possible because if we can do it,
anybody
can do it. Because let me tell you, we have tried Weight Watchers many times. I'd lost, way back when in my 20s, I'd lost 50 pounds. And I kept it off for a lot of years.
But you never thought I could ever do it. Honestly, let's be honest.
We both had different attachments to food.
Yes.
I always felt like I had a little bit more of a control mechanism with it than you did.
Oh, yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
And, it's though we both at the same time came to that moment in our lives where we were like,
done.
I think this is more important than this.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's why we joined. We knew that there's something else that we both wanted more. And that was to be where we're...
To be healthy.
And be where we're at now.
To age well. And that's a big deal. It's great when you go, I love the clothes that I'm buying. This is fun.
Oh, I do love that part.
But when all is said and done, we're aging. We're 50, as we said. And we're just going to keep getting older. We're not going to age backwards.
We're not.
So knowing that we're going to age as healthy as possible to have the better quality of life that we both want.
So when you're going back to basics, remember why you started this. What put you on this journey? I've got to remind myself every single day, like I did in the beginning, I'm doing this because I want to be healthier and happier and have the life I've always wanted. I have to remind myself of that every single day. And I think if I do, I can get back some of that newness, that excitement, and
fun.
Kind of do the basics that I'm looking for. Actually, it's been a good week so far, and I felt I've kept it simple. I've not muddied any waters with anything new. I've just kept it simple.
Yep. Sometimes the same old's okay.
It is.
Because the same old becomes new again when you haven't done it in a while.
I felt so inconsistent.
She's like, she goes, I just need something simple. I'm like, okay, we're going to do it. So here we are.
So join us on our Back to Basics week.
If you're feeling
like you need to.
But if you're in a great place right now,
just
stick with
ride
it.
the train.
Ride the train.
Yes.
Ride the train.
Ride the train.
But if you're struggling, maybe think about going back to basics.
Because I have been trying so much.
Because that's shaking it up.
Yeah, because I've been shaking it up so often. I need to just...
She wants to shake it back to basics and stay there for a while.
Stay. That's where I'm at.
So we will see you next week.
Hopefully lighter.
Later. Bye.
Bye.